Okay, my beautiful friends, sit back and relax because here we go again. I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing, but it's just getting to be too much here. As usual, we have a lot to talk about this morning. So, Wednesday, May 31st, 2023. Before we even go look at this freak show of a stock market, let's start off with some of the news that we got here. It's just beautiful and lovely. Every single piece of this it's perfect. So here we go. Mortgage demand drops again. Home prices year over year had their first drop since 2012. Central banks, are you ready for this, are hoarding gold at their fastest pace ever. I wonder why that is. Do you think maybe they know something that they don't want you to know? Duh. Yeah, I think we could pretty much, agree. Inflation continues to outpace anything that has been forecast by the Federal Reserve, with core inflation rising again with no end in sight. It's not going to stop. Now, with regard to inflation, this is what big retailers are saying. Well, it's too bad for them because labor costs are rising and raw material costs are rising. And those costs, guess what? You're paying for it. It's being passed on to you. Imagine my shock. Imagine your shock. Oh, absolutely. Now, just in case you were wondering, because, sometimes maybe we don't get it right. Well, the CEO of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon himself, wants you to know. Are you ready for this? I hope you're sitting down. Jamie Dimon wants you to know that there's more inflation to come. Really? Thank you, sir. Like we didn't know that already. So while we're here, okay, talking about this, what has surprised you? Are you surprised at all? Shocked? Aghast? Whatever it might be, that mortgage demand is dropping. Meanwhile, home prices are dropping. I don't think that's surprising to you. Are you surprised that central banks are hoarding gold faster than ever? But they only hold gold for tradition. Now, you know that's true. You know how we can be absolutely certain that central banks only hold gold because it's traditional to do it. Well, because Ben Bernanke said so. You remember that? He was asked years ago by Ron Paul, why is it, sir, thing, vomitous mass, putrid, disgusting, whatever you are, Ben Bernanke, tell us why, all of us here, why central banks hold gold. Oh, they hold gold for tradition. Oh, it's traditional, so they hold it. And that's why they're hoarding it now at their fastest pace on record. No, people, you see what they're doing here? You and I realize, okay, gold and silver are real money and they will remain so forever. It's never going to stop here. But Ben Bernanke also said that gold isn't money, but they hold it for tradition. Okay, well, when you hear that, you know the polar opposite is true. Central banks are doing what you and I are doing. They're betting against the debt. And they are already their own central banks. Duh. So what are they doing? They can do whatever they want with their product that they make out of thin air, so they can buy whatever they want. So here they're buying gold. Lovely. So that doesn't surprise you. Core inflation continuing to outpace anything that has been forecast by the Federal Reserve. You see, but you and I knew this from I don't know how long ago. Go back as far as you want to go. We knew inflation would continue to rise. There's no end in sight here, and there's still not going to be any end in sight here. Well, that's something else. Jamie Dimon wants you to know not only is inflation going to continue to rise, duh. Does that bother you at all? Let me ask you. When I hear a so-called authority figure, let's say the CEO of a Wall Street super bank, tell me something that I already know that actually requires not even one single brain cell to work, like inflation is going to continue to rise here. Does it bother you like it bothers me? I don't know. I just get this I can't even define it. Just this terrible feeling all over my body. It just makes me want to, frankly, choke someone, to be honest with you. I don't like these so-called authority figures to tell me what I already know. It bothers me a lot. It really, really does. And again, I mean, this is no surprise with big retailers saying they have no choice. They have no choice but to pass on those, inflationary costs to you. That's because you see the CEOs and the big wigs at these mega corporations, they need their multi-million dollar bonuses every year. Forget about their multi-million dollar salaries. They need their multi-million dollar bonuses as well. So you have to pay for inflation. You see how it works? That's just, unfortunately, the trickle-down effect. And you and me, we're at the low end of the totem pole here. So we got to take it deep, and then a little deeper in the heart, straight deep in the heart of the gabagool. But I think we're all on the same page with that too. Now, let's go look over at this stock market. Okay, stock futures are lower this morning. Nothing dramatic, lower nonetheless. But that's not the story. That's still not the story, and you know that. The 10-year yield dropping precipitously. We're now 14 basis points lower. 14, 68, more so than that, 68, 78, 78, 14 or so, just in 2 weeks with regard to the 10-year yield. So this is a relief rally in the debt market on the back of whatever is supposed to happen with the supposed agreement on the debt ceiling, for which they've promised that, we're going to borrow more. That's all this is. When they raise the debt ceiling, it's a promise to borrow more. And they want to try to convince you that whatever they're trying to sell you is going to be good for you, because that's what they say, because you see, they're authority figures, just like Jamie Dimon is, and they can tell you whatever they want to, and you're going to take it, and you're going to like it, no matter what it is. You understand? I think you do. So, 10-year yield down. Relative strength of the dollar a little bit higher this morning. Stock futures, as I said, lower. Crude oil getting hit yet again. Yesterday we fell substantially. I think 3 or 4%. This morning we're down another 2 or 3% or something like that on crude. Good. You know my take on this. Commodities, the place to be moving forward. There's all this fear now. This fear. No, the economy is slowing. The economy is slowing down. So there's going to be less demand for oil, and that's why it's dropping, but it ain't going to last. It's not going to last. Okay, why? Because oil is priced in dollars. What's happening to the dollar? Well, its purchasing power is evaporating. It's just disappearing before your eyeballs. And don't take my word for it. Listen to Jamie Dimon, because he's telling you, because he's an authority figure. He's way, way more of an authority figure than Greg Mannarino. So listen to him that inflation is going to continue to rise, and that means the purchasing power of the dollar is going to disappear. And this is a phenomenon around the world, people. You know this. What are central banks doing? Central banks are in a race to the bottom. They've been in a race to the bottom for the longest time. They're trying very successfully, deliberately, to kill the value of their currencies, dismantling the current system, getting ready for the rollout of the new digital system. You all know that. So, cryptocurrencies right now are under pressure. Gold and silver catching a little bit, nothing major going on. Look, right now, this market is more or less of a holding pattern to see what happens with this debt ceiling deal. It's the greatest deal. You know it's the greatest deal because that's what they're telling you. It's so great. Well, not really here. It seems like some Republicans are hating this deal, and as well as some Democrats as well. But look, no matter what they do you believe it's going to benefit you or me? No, absolutely not. The pressure will be kept on, and it will be unrelenting, and it will get worse. This is what you can be certain of. And then the other certainty is another crisis, followed by another crisis, followed by another crisis, and another one after that. And the common thread is more cash must be thrown at every crisis that they want us to deal with. Again, that's the way it is, and I think we're pretty much on board with that. So let me ask you, being that central banks, and now we know this, look it up for yourself, are now hoarding gold at their fastest pace ever, what do you think you should do? Do you think you should mimic what central banks are doing? I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer, huh? Greg Mannarino has been saying to bet against the debt and become your own central bank since literally time immemorial. And that's exactly what you need to do. Again, think about it, people. You and I work for the privilege to borrow cash from a central bank wherever you live in the world here. Okay, you don't own that cash that you're given by your boss, or you earn if you're your own boss. That's not yours. It's owned by the issuing central bank. It's issued. I'm sorry. We owe it back to the issuing central bank. Plus interest, they created nothing. So I see, let's give them back their product. Okay, they produce one thing that is debt, the currency being a unit of debt. So you swap that out for these, gold and silver. If central banks are hoarding gold, and I am sure they're hoarding silver as well, well, don't you think you should do the same? Yeah, because they realize we're in a hyper bubble, and this hyper bubble is going to burst. Commodity prices are going to go to the moon and beyond Pluto, which used to be a planet, which maybe is a planet again. I have no idea what it is, just floating around out there. You got it? All right, look, people, this guy here loves you a lot. Please comment on what I've spoken about. Share the video. Those thumbs up are so valuable. Please get the video out there. That's how it gets seen, all right? Just click that thumbs up if you got something out of this video. I will see all of you later, 1:05 p.m. Pacific Standard. I said it. Oh, no. Pacific time. All right, I'll see you 1:05 p.m. Pacific time for my live stream. Have some questions for me, all right? That's what the live stream is all about, so you and I can interact. I'll see you later.